Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Morning. So I'm Marcus from PageProof, and I'm about to start the presentation, the first one of the day. So, why you can't live without an online proofing platform. So I'm Marcus. That little avatar over there, as you can tell, that's me. And I thought I'd just go through a little bit of an intro about who I am and how I ended up standing on this stage. How did this all begin? Well, I'm from the old school. I worked in the early 90s in Photoshop 2.5, doing a lot of retouching work for a photographer called Ann Geddes, so a lot of baby photos. Yeah, I was the person who put the babies in the pots, put them inside of lettuce leaves and all that sort of thing. Yeah, so that was a great lot of fun. I learned a lot doing that, which then led me into a pre-press career. So I went from doing Photoshop work to actually working with these tools. So got the modern icons here and some of the ones that don't exist anymore. PageMaker, Freehand, Quark Express, and Illustrator, all in the arsenal of tools that I used to do that sort of work. Now, after I finished my pre-press career, I moved into distributing computer hardware. So a lot of Mac clones, probably not many will remember. Apple allowed clone makers, so I represented power computing. Yeah, one or two people do remember. And I got a letter from Steve Jobs one day saying, "You're fired." And then the day later, I was hired at Apple. So I worked there for a while, which was a really, really great experience. Had a really good time working there. Next in that was, hey, I need to work for myself. So I started a consulting company and did a lot of work with publishing. A lot of people would have known in the area that I was working, so it was kind of job management tools, digital asset management tools, automation with InDesign Server, you know, a lot of publishing type scenarios. So there was a lot of that involved. And I also ran the New Zealand Adobe InDesign user group for 10 years. So do I know about InDesign? Yes, I do. Yep, I know a lot about it. And that led me to now being the founder and CTO of PageProof, which is an online proofing platform. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. Okay, why can't you live with an online proofing platform? So let's get into the detail, and I've underlined the word platform there for a reason. But let's start off by looking at what I'm going to go through today. First thing we're going to go through is what is a single app commenting tool? Because you need to know what that is. They exist, you may use them today. But we'll go through exactly what a single app commenting tool is. Then we'll go through what is, oh, by the way, I'll point out to you why that ultimately is an expensive option. Then we'll go through what is an online proofing platform and why that is a cost-effective option. Of course, I'm going to explain exactly why. And then we'll look at why an online proofing platform is essential to the work that you could be doing. All right, let's get started into the single app commenting tool. So we'll look at a single app commenting tool from your point of view as a designer. What is it? Well, it does one job. Sort of. This is the kind of thing where we start thinking about, well, what is a single app commenting tool? It's things like, if you think of Google Docs, you can put comments on Google Docs, but it doesn't work on anything else. You can use Adobe Review with InDesign. Great, that does that job. But if you want to do something else with video, you've got to use another tool. So something like, I don't know, I think there's a thing called Frame. You can use things like that. So you've got to have these single app commenting tools which all are attached to the app that you're using, okay? You've also got just a list of reviewers. So if you want to send out your work, it goes out to everybody all at once. So you've got this proof going out to absolutely everybody. And this has stopped. It's interesting. Let's click again. So yeah, so it just sends out the proof to absolutely everybody, and you have to manage who it's going to, when. And you're doing a lot of different creative work these days, so not only are you working in InDesign, but you're also working in tools like Figma, you're working in tools like Illustrator, Photoshop, lots of different tools. So you need a new tool every time you need to send something out. You need to grab a new tool. So you've got one after the other after the other. So there's a lot of single app tools that you're using to get your work out. Now for your reviewers, their point of view will be, hey, what do I do again? You send them something via Figma, and now, yes, I'm familiar with Figma, I understand how to do that, but you then send them over something in Acrobat, they've got to remember how to use Acrobat, you send them something in Frame, they've got to remember how to use that. So it's kind of like them changing between driving a car, a truck, or a bicycle. They all head in the same direction, but people are confused every time they jump in. They have to relearn what it is that they're doing. So those single app commenting tools, you've got lots of different ways that you need to learn on how to use those. So your reviewers are learning constantly, hey, what's this? I've got to figure this out. And you've just given them a job where they're living back inside their emails again. So with those single app commenting tools, there's a lot of emails, and people can be hunting around for the link. Where is the link to this particular thing I need to review? Who sent it to me? What tool was it? This isn't for me. I'm just going to forward it to my cousin. And the cousin can open up that link and place comments as that person. So they're not exactly secure either. And am I looking at the latest version of this proof? Lots and lots of issues when it comes to that. So we'll go through a bit of detail. And then finally, sometimes things look a little bit odd in those single app commenting tools, and that's because they're generally just tacked onto the product. It's not their core reason for being to actually render out that work, and I'll give you some good examples of that so you can see why does this look this way. So for example, if you look at this piece of work, it looks great, but I know that there's something not quite right about it, but the reviewer has absolutely no idea. The reviewer looks at this and thinks, okay, that's our design. But when you look at the original source file over on the, I think that's the right, it's your left, you'll notice there's some patterns inside of that design. And that's because there's some transparency and overprinting and Adobe InDesign effects put on those pieces. Now they have not rendered correctly on the single app commenting tool. And I'll show you how you can actually figure that out very, very soon. That should have looked like this. That's ultimately what the reviewer should have seen, but didn't. Okay? All right. So when I mention cost, cost is not just the dollars. The cost is your reviewers having to learn all the time, the complexity of all these different tools that they're having to work with. Is this thing secure? I can forward my links to my cousin, my brother, my uncle, and they can comment as me. And is it truly giving us a carbon copy representation of the work that I'm producing? That's a pretty important part of it. Okay, online proofing platform. Now, for you, an online proofing platform can proof everything. So it gives you a 360-degree view of your entire campaign. So if you're doing something that has print, banner ads, video, email campaign, all of those things in one campaign, you can send it out with one tool. And it gives you that ability to put all of this work into one platform. All right, so it's just one single platform for doing everything. So if you've got all these different tools that you're using to create, you can put every single one of them through PageProof to gather feedback from your team members. We support absolutely everything that you're working on. All right? Right, so eyes on your work when you want them to do it. So typically, if you want to send out a piece of work, you may not want the legal team jumping in at the very, very beginning. you kind of want to have the legal team at the end, just checking T's and C's, right? You don't want them critiquing design, because no, we don't want that. So you can send them all out in a controlled manner. With PageProof, you can say, go to this team first. Once they have put their feedback on, go to the next team, and so on and so on. So it's a controlled workflow, and it's fully automated, which means you just send it, hands off the keyboard, go do something else, and your approvals just turn up, right? There's no need for you to manage those approvals at all. Pixel perfect work. Now, this is super important. When it comes to rendering your work so it looks great to your reviewers and it's absolutely pixel perfect, this is where online proofing platforms like PageProof absolutely shine. We spend day and night, I'm lying a little bit, we spend lots of time making sure that it's going to render identically to your design. So you'll find that we are an absolute carbon copy of your design, and in the case of PageProof, we are Ghent Workgroup certified. So the Ghent Workgroup, if you don't know who they are, it's a bunch of Europeans, but they help with the certification and defining PDFX and all those PDF standards. Really fantastic group. And the great thing with them is that you're going to see with PageProof, you're going to get an exact replica of the work that you put in. Okay, it's going to be identical. Now, next thing I'm going to show you is a little trick and something useful. This, over on your left-hand side, that is a representation of a PDF that you can get from the Ghent Workgroup website. This PDF is a magic PDF, in that if things are wrong with it when it renders it, it actually puts crosses through the items that are incorrectly rendering. Now, it looks pretty complicated, but the great thing is the PDF is free to get. You can download it. You can then upload it into any tool that you like, and you can check the rendering. It gives you a little bit of a check on how the rendering of the tool you're using right now is. Now, on the right-hand side, that is how it should look. Okay? So over on the left, that's a bad render. Lots of crosses. You can see the drop shadows not working. That's because the system that was used to process the one over on the left-hand side wasn't capable of handling transparency, spot colors, and overprints. All right, so this PDF, if you want it, you can get it from this URL. You can take a photo of that, but on the next screen is the QR code of that. So you can take a photo of that, or, so I'll wait 1 second while people have a quick grab of that. The QR code is next, which is even better, right? So here's the QR code. If you want to snap that, then you'll be able to get hold of that PDF and check the systems that you're using right now. So if you're using Adobe Review, if you're using any other tools, put that PDF through and see what your reviewers are going to see when it comes to your work. You may be surprised. Okay. This whole thing that I'm talking about here means that you get more time to create. You're not chasing people. You're not having to find out exactly where people are up to with the proofing. It's all handled by the platform. So you get more time spent on creation. Now, from your reviewer's point of view, online proofing tool for your reviewers. They just have one way to review. They're not learning multiple tools. They just learn one way, and then they can review absolutely everything you send them. So if you send them an Illustrator file, you send them a video, PDF, Photoshop file, whatever it is, they can review it because they know how to use the platform, okay? And the great thing with that is that the training is zero, okay? It's super simple. In fact, when someone comes to the platform for the first time, we take them through a very simple 3-stage walkthrough, and they never need to be told how to use it ever again. So a good example, this is a PDF. So you simply grab the red pen tool from the side, and then you can just mark up directly on the PDF and then write your comment. You can attach files into the comments as well if you want to, and just add in your comment. Super simple. The red pen tool has various different modes, so you can freehand draw, just like we used to do in the old days with paper, and then write your comment in there. And then finally, we'll just zoom in a bit closer here. We can make some suggestions on the copy change. So I can say, well, that spelling looks wrong, so I can just change some suggestions here on how the spelling should be. And then down the bottom, you'll see there's just a little bit too much copy there. So again, I can just select over that copy. You'll notice it puts it in the comments so the reviewer can just make a quick change, all right, and add that suggestion. So it's super simple to do that. And then there's a finish button where you just suggest your changes. Now this is a video. Again, we play the video, grab the red pen, click on the position that you want to make the comment, write your comment, play the video through. Again, you'll see red pen over on the left-hand side. I can just grab that red pen tool and then just make the comment on the video in any place that I like and just write in those comments. You'll notice the time codes on those as well, so everything here is time coded. And you can also pull those comments out over time because video obviously has a time dimension. And then just go to the finish button in the bottom corner of the screen and make your decision. The next example is a website. So it's a small boutique German car company, and this is their live website. You can click on the option here and say, show me this website on a phone so we can see how it responds. We'll go back and look at it on an iPad-sized screen so you can check how it looks here. Grab the red pen tool, mark up the change on the website, make your comment, and then very simply go down to the finish button and make your decision. So there's a bit of a theme going on there, which is red pen, comment, finish button. That's the training. You guys can all use PageProof now for reviewing your work. Done. Simple. Okay. Right. Next thing. Move on to the next slide, please. No, it's decided to play the video again. That's a good thing. Second training. All right. Okay, online proofing platform, carry on here. You're always looking at the latest version. So no matter what, when you open a proof, it pops you to the latest version, so you never get confused about which version you're looking at. So again, your reviewers don't even need to think about it. In fact, we give them a dashboard showing them all the proofs that they need to spend time looking on. So it's super simple. They never go to their email. Really, really easy for them to use. Simple, simple, simple. And then the security side of it. So not only are we ISO certified, we also have inside of here the ability when someone forwards the email link or they send the notification off to somebody else, it won't let that other person comment because that would be bad. So it's really, really, really secure and a great way to make sure that the work is for your eyes only. Okay. So more time for that person to do their job because generally the people that you send proofs to, their job is product manager, marketing manager, they're busy. And then proofing just sort of comes in from the side. It's not their full-time job. They're not sitting there waiting for your proofs. So we want to make sure this is nice and quick and easy for them to do. So speed, control, all those words there, the perfection of the rendering, the security and the accuracy of that work is super, super important. And it's showing your work in the best possible way. All right. Now, why is this platform essential? There is a third point, of course. So it's essential for everybody for a number of reasons. First one is compliance and security. So as we know, we're spending time in this world making sure we're making sure we're compliant in all the things we're doing. PageProof keeps a security audit for everything that goes on the platform. So if somebody says, hey, I didn't make that change, you can just pop in here and go, you asked for it on version 7 and this comment number. Oh, okay, thanks for that. I was just checking. So you've got a full audit there for absolutely all time that proof exists. So it's great. You've got all the history there if you need it. So everybody in your organization is happy, including IT. All right? So the IT department love platforms like this because we're secure, certified, and it's easy for them to roll out because it's just a web browser. Okay? Connectivity. Now, this is a bit of a big area. So these days, back in the day when I was doing work, oh my gosh, that's a bit long ago. Okay, probably more modern times, We're now working with things like Monday.com, Asana, Trello, all these types of products to manage our flows and keep track of all our tasks and all those sorts of things, okay? And at the moment, the proofing's kind of over there. It's the sideline that we kind of run a little bit outside of that. Well, good news is PageProof connects with absolutely everything. So project management tools, creative tools, even tools these new, well, they're not new now, but Slack and Microsoft Teams, all of those things are fully integrated into PageProof, so everything is kept up to date. So here, with Monday.com, this is probably our deepest integration. If you're using Monday.com, PageProof has an add-on which builds PageProof into Monday. All right, so down the bottom, you can see that's actually PageProof information inside of Monday. It's a really great integration. If you want to see it, just call by the booth and we can show you. But it's an absolutely brilliant integration with PageProof. The same with Asana. If you're using Asana, you'll see the little widget down on the bottom right-hand side. That's a PageProof widget inside of Asana. So you can keep track of your proofing without having to go to PageProof. You can see it in the project management tool. This is Trello. So this is cool because you can start proofs from inside of Trello. So if you create a card and you've dropped a PDF or an InDesign file or whatever inside that card, you can just right-click on it and send it out for proofing via PageProof. A couple of clicks and it's done. And the cool thing is PageProof can actually come back and move the cards around for you. So it's very, very cool. So definitely if you're using Trello, it's a great one. Slack notifications come up with a nice thumbnail and action buttons. So if you're using Slack, you'll get notifications coming through. And the same with Microsoft Teams as well. So if your organization has got you using Teams, PageProof integrates with Teams, and you get all your notifications coming through in Teams as well. So again, really, really great to keep everything nicely tied up and together. Now Canva, who's heard of Canva? A couple of people have probably heard of Canva, yeah? Canva is up and coming, or in a lot of cases, very established when it comes to creativity, and we have an integration with Canva as well. So Canva, you can be working on your design, you want to get some feedback, 2 clicks, and you can send it out via PageProof directly from Canva, out get feedback. So again, super nice integration if Canva is used by your social media team or the design team to do work. So this is the Adobe integration. So inside of your Adobe tools, you can send out proofs directly using the PageProof panel, and it gives you options for creating your proof deadline, put a message in there, page range and spreads are all fully supported as well, and you simply choose a workflow, which is a group of people, to send the proof to, and then click the OK button, and it sends the proof directly from your design tool out via that workflow and starts gathering feedback, so you don't even need to leave your tools to use it. Of course, for your reviewers, we've already seen this marked up before, they just write all their markup in here and all the things that they'd like you to do, and they return you a to-do list. You can then come back into your Adobe tools, highlight the proof. We show you the comments on the right-hand side of this panel, or left-hand side of the panel. And as you click through each one of these, we actually put the highlights on your artwork, so you can see exactly where people were making comments about your work, which is super cool. Now, here, I'd like to change that text. So rather than retype it, you just click a button, boom, and it replaces the copy for you. Same with the one above it. If I click into this top one here, it's got all those changes. I can say, right, select that text, replace it, boom, with the change. So a couple of clicks, and it's doing all the copy changes for you. Then you go through and you make all the other changes, check them off as done in that panel, so you can mark them off as done. If there's an attachment in the comment, you can save the attachments directly out of here, place them into your design, and check them off as done. So this is a super powerful integration for Creative Cloud users. This is just showing you inside of InDesign, but I can show you this tell you this works in a whole range of Creative Cloud applications. Just enables you to send that work out and then bring the comments back in, which is where the benefits are, which are quite dramatic. Okay, so if you're using Premiere Pro or After Effects, Yes, there's a PageProof panel for Premiere Pro and After Effects, and it shows the markers on the timelines automatically for video editors. So your video edit team, they can get all of that feedback coming in directly into their video edit tools. We all love Illustrator. Same thing happens there. You can open the PageProof panel, highlight the comments, and we'll put the markup on the artwork so you can see exactly where that person wants you to place the logo. Thank you, person. Like your suggestion, but I'm going to put it over there instead. But anyway, yeah, so their markup comes into here as well. And then if you're working in Photoshop and you've sent out some photography to people and they're putting markups on there like light in this area, dark in this area, they can draw all over it on PageProof, and then we bring you, using the panel, we bring in exactly that markup over the top of your photography or whatever it is you're doing in Photoshop. All right? So just a good example again, I showed you the live demo in InDesign, but we support all the other tools as well. Now, if you want to see this in action, just pop by our booth out there, and we're quite willing to pop open the laptop and show you exactly what it looks like. But these are major benefits for your productivity. Okay, so last thing on this side, the whole thing about having a platform that's talking to other platforms is everybody's in the loop. There's nothing worse than someone coming to you and saying, I'd like a report on all these projects, please. Can you give me, and it's like, I don't want to tell you, I'm too busy designing. It's like, oh, okay. Just have a look in Monday, everything's in there. Or look in Asana, it's all up to date. Just go there. So the great thing with this is that you don't need to spend your time reporting on where things are up to. All that information on proofing is being updated live into all of your project management tools. And if your bosses are all working inside of Slack or Teams, they can see the stream of things that's going on with the proofing as well. So it just means you're keeping more people out of your office, which is great sometimes. But all of those workflows mean that you simply drag and drop, or you send directly from your Adobe tool, send your proofs out, and then you're able to get those, that feedback come to you from the platform directly. So just to sort of summarize, we've talked about single app tools, which some of you might be using today. And now you can evaluate those single app tools using that PDF from the Ghent workshop, which is really useful. So you can see how it renders your work. The online proofing platform, what is an online proofing platform? And then why is it essential? Okay, so that's a little bit of a wrap up of what we just talked about and covered. So if you want to know more, we're obviously out in the booth over on the side there. See Gemma and Roy and myself are there. That's our website. We are soon, not today, maybe today, we have a coffee machine that we're giving away, an espresso machine, but hasn't turned up because of Mother's Day parcel delivery. So apparently it's going to be here this afternoon. You can come by and grab coffee from that coffee machine, and at the end of the conference, we'll actually give that machine away to a person. So you just need to come in, write your details on one of the PageProof sticky notes. Have everyone here got a PageProof sticky note yet? No, so call by the booth and have a chat to us, and just steal all the things from our desk. It's all completely welcome. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.